Good morning, everybody.
Okay.
We brought you here today to discuss a major development that occurred over the past 24 hours involving our continuing investigation on Elaina Steinford. As most of you know, yesterday about 3 o'clock, 3:16, Toledo Police Department detectives executed a search warrant at 701 Federal based on information obtained during our investigation. As a result of that search warrant, we were able to recover immature human skeletal remains that was turned over to the Lucas County Coroner's Office. Presently, the Lucas County Coroner is conducting an autopsy on those remains. We've contacted the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and they'll be working over the weekend to also conduct additional examination on these remains in an attempt to determine the identity of these remains. This investigation that we have is still ongoing and is still active. It is an ongoing investigation and is still an active investigation. So there's many things that we cannot discuss at this time. Standing behind me is the prosecutor from Lucas County, Julia Bates, her assistants, Jeff Lingo and Rob Miller, FBI Special Agent in Charge, Dave Dustin, Tanya Ryder, who is one of the lead investigators on this investigation, Captain Wes Bombries, who commands my Investigative Services Division, Lieutenant Bill Moulton, who commands my Homicide Division, Captain Brad Weiss, who commands my Strategic Response Division, and I believe John Wagner may be behind us, who is also with the FBI. There's a lot of things we can talk about with this case, but we're here to be able to answer what questions that we're willing to field from you at this time.
Did Stephen King give you the tip that led you to the remains?
Want to talk about that?
Obviously, at this point, I'm not going to make a comment on that. I can tell you that we obviously have been working on it ever since this case has started, and we're continuing, and it led us to 704 Federal from our investigation last night.
But you're not saying that it came from
No,
Stephen
I
King.
can't comment on that right now.
How long were those remains there in that garage?
That I can't comment on either.
Had you checked the garage before?
We've conducted a couple search warrants at the house, specifically the garage, no. Obviously, our investigation led us yesterday afternoon, I mean, to that specific garage, and that's why we conducted another search warrant there.
What type of box was it and where was it inside the garage?
I can tell you that, off the top of my head, I can't tell you the garage.
I can tell you that it was located, there's rafters in the garage that expand above, and it was located near the far corner in that garage behind quite a bit of other, I want to say boxes, trash, things of that nature.
It was in a box in the rafters.
It was up on a shelf in the rafters, yes.
And can you describe the box?
Not at this time, no. Just
Some of the volunteers who have been searching told us that they've asked police before to search the garage. Is this true?
I don't know what those people have said. We searched the garage as best of our ability at that time, and the location is very tough to search. If anybody that's been out there, they could attest to that.
So before this search, you hadn't received any requests to search the garage before that you know of?
We searched initially when we were looking for the missing child. The original investigation was a missing child, so we were looking for where a child could go.
3 weeks in, Risa Smith with the group Justice for Nevaeh said they brought their own dog in and they got some hit on the garage and called the police and told you guys, and you didn't do anything about it. Do you recall hearing from them?
No, I don't recall that at all. We did bring our own cadaver dogs in. However, due to the condition of the property, the dogs were not allowed to go in.
When was the original search conducted? After the baby disappeared?
Right away, the police started a search that day.
In the garage also?
All property in the garage, and then the next day, right away, we canvassed the whole neighborhood, searching door to door, talking to people.
So the garage had been searched previously. Did you know how? I just want to make sure I have this.
The garage was searched.
Okay.
But The
Prior to
completeness of the search,
yesterday?
I can't tell you.
Prior to yesterday?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
Did whoever was searching go up into that like loft type area
Well,
before yesterday?
we can't get into all those details right now, okay?
Because right now, I think the general sentiment is that Toledo police dropped the ball on this, and by not finding the box. I mean, whether or not, I mean, was the baby in there the whole time? Do you think?
Well, we didn't drop the ball, number one. Number two, this investigation is ongoing, it's active. We can't get into all these various details right now. The main thing that you have to remember, there are two things. Number one, we wanted to find a body. We wanted to find that baby, which we did. Number two, we want to bring justice for Elaina, which means that we're going to continue to pursue our investigation and do the things we need to do to make sure the people that are responsible for this are held accountable. We're not going to get into all this, how many times we checked here, how many times we checked that. We had a lot of deception taking place, being told to us by a variety of sources in this community. And because of that, we took the investigation where we felt we needed to take it. The bottom line is, we found what we believe may be baby Elaina. We're going to conduct our investigation. We're going to bring those responsible to justice.
How
Maybe Ms.
identifiable is the remains?
Pardon me?
How identifiable is the remains? that you
One thing I can tell you is immature human skeletal remains, and that's all I can tell you. They'll be up the Lucas County coroner to make that determination, and they're doing that right now on their autopsy. We're bringing in the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. They'll be working over the weekend to try to help do additional examination so we can determine for sure if the remains are who we think it may be.
Maybe Ms. Bates can speak to this. The deception that you just spoke about, is that the reason that so far to this point it's only been obstruction of justice? And how soon, if at all, will there be other charges brought now that you have possibly a body?
Thanks for asking that question. I guess what I'd like to say is it would really do no service to any of the participants, your readers and your viewers, the community at large, the family, to speculate on any of the things that you've asked us, because there are so many things that at this point in time we don't know. So what we are telling you is what we do know, what we can tell you, and as it unfolds and as the investigation continues, you'll learn more and more and more. But to speculate and to hypothesize about if, when, where, how, and why, we just cannot do that. And that would just be silly and foolish. Sorry.
Going off
Thank you.
that note about deception, over the last few weeks, we've seen the focus of the search really be the river. Was that a product of deception? What led to that shift in the search at the river? Now we have this garage.
We're not going to get into that. Once again, this is an active investigation. It's ongoing. We're not going to start going on the various threads of why we did what we did, because once again, this is an active investigation.
There was originally mom, Angela. She said she found a diaper along the river. Do you think maybe she planted it there? Do you think the baby ever made it to the river?
We're once again, I'm not going to answer those questions. This is an ongoing active investigation.
Just to verify, was this taken out of the Stephen King residence garage or another one in the alley behind it?
What?
The box of remains, was that taken?
704 Federal.
Chief, can you determine how long the box had been in the garage?
I mean, obviously, we're looking at all those aspects, but we don't know at this point.
And I know at this point we can't say for 100% sure whether these remains are baby Elaina. However, how certain can you be? I mean, are we dealing with two potential homicides?
Well, I'm not going to go down that thread yet. You know, we're here to let you all know, let the community know, as we always said, when we have more information come about this case. This is a high-profile case in this community. It's a very emotional case. It's a high-profile, top priority case for Toledo Police Department. You know, I've been chief now almost 2 years, and it's the second case that's really strenuous, that's high-profile, and has a strong concern in the community. We're putting all our resources together to try to solve this investigation. And I do not want to say anything at this press conference or in the future that's going to jeopardize this investigation. We have you all here today because we wanted to give you an update of what's going on, and so we don't have all these speculation in the media. Okay?
Speaking of the emotion, last night there was an altercation after the original search when police took down their tape and left the scene. Are you satisfied with the response that they didn't stay there maybe to keep the area calm, and had to come back once the fight started?
We follow our normal protocol. If there was any indication that we felt there was going to be any type of problems within that community, of course we would have stayed. But our normal protocol is, when we finish